Everyone, thank you for joining us tonight, and at this time we're going to open the meeting with an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation is going to be presented by Commissioner Mark McAleese.
Dear Lord, we gather today in service of our community. We're grateful for the opportunity to work together for the good of all who call this city home. We ask your steady hand over this meeting. Grant us clear minds, patient hearts, spirit of cooperation. Help each person to listen with respect, speak with wisdom, and act with dignity. Bless our residents with safety, unity, and well-being. Watch over our first responders as they protect and serve. Strengthen them, shield them, and encourage their families. Guide our city leaders and commission with insight so that their decisions bring fairness, stability, and hope to every neighborhood. As we move through this season, we ask for calm weather and gentle hurricane season. Protect our homes, our infrastructure, and our people from harm. Remind us to prepare wisely and care for one another. May this meeting reflect our shared commitment to building a community rooted in compassion, responsibility, and peace. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to move right in to Carly calling the roll.
Here.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Penny.
Here, mostly. Okay, we're going to go right into reports, and we're going to start with Commissioner Gail Neidinger and Finance.
For the Finance Department, the proposed fiscal year 2027 budget draft is ready for the public budget hearings on September 9th and 16th. Several finance-related ordinances and resolutions have been submitted to the city clerk's office and will be proposed at tonight's August and upcoming September meetings. Through June 2026, the general fund has received about 83% of the total budgeted revenues and expenses are generally on target. All funds are operating at a surplus. General fund, a surplus of $1.6 million. Capital improvement, a surplus of $276,000. Sewer fund, a surplus of $61,000. And reclaimed water, a surplus of $121,000.
All right, thank you, Gail. And now we're going to go to Commissioner Mark McAleese and Community Improvement.
Thank you, Mayor. We received a letter from FEMA after completing our 5-year community rating system verification visit in June 2025. The city has moved to Class 7, which gives our residents a 15% discount on their flood insurance. In July and August of 2026, we received 188 permit applications compared to July and August of 2025, where we received 408. We issued 111 permits in July and August of 26 compared to 168 in July and August of 2025. In July and August of 2026, we did still 683 inspections compared to July and August of 2025, where we did 843 inspections. We have begun receiving business tax receipt renewals. To date, we have received $92,381.35 since July 1, 26. We have been working with Forward Pinellas on a planned redevelopment overlay district and are making great progress. We have hired Matrix Consulting Group to perform a fee study analysis to meet the compliance requirement of HB 803 and SB 399. We have received a request from FEMA for a 24-month update, final phase of documentation. This data ensures that our records and FEMA records regarding storm damage are complete. Just a reminder, all work to repair structure to its pre-damage condition requires a permit A substantial damage packet must be filled out and completed for all work needed to bring the structure back to pre-damage condition and submitted with the permit application. And that's our report, Mayor.
Thank you. And now Commissioner Linda Thompson in Public Safety.
As we approach the end of August, the South Pasadena Fire Department would like to remind everyone that we're now entering the peak portion of the Atlantic hurricane season, which historically runs from approximately mid-August through mid-October. While there are currently no tropical threats to our area, now is the time to prepare, not when the storm is approaching. Pinellas County Emergency Management encouraged residents to remember 3 simple steps. Know your risk, make a plan, and stay informed. Residents should know their hurricane evacuation zone and remember that evacuation zones are based primarily on the risk from life-threatening storm surge. Have a plan for where you will go if an evacuation is ordered and include family members, pets, medication, transportation needs, and anyone who may require special assistance. This is also a good time to check your hurricane supply kit. We recommend having enough supplies to be self-sufficient for at least 1 week, including water, non-perishable food, medications, flashlight, batteries, a weather radio, and other essential items. Residents are encouraged to sign up for Alert Pinellas and download the Ready Pinellas app for emergency information, evacuation zone information, preparedness checklists, and notifications. A hurricane threat can develop quickly, and preparations become much more difficult once a storm is approaching. Taking a few steps now can make a significant difference later. Don't wait to evacuate. The roads flood, winds get stronger, buses no longer run, and emergency crews can no longer respond. And that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Vice Mayor Tom Reed in Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a public safety announcement more than anything. When working outside, be aware of heat exhaustion in light of all the heat we've had. Heat exhaustion is a heat-related illness that occurs when the body becomes overheated and loses too much water and salt through sweating. After prolonged exposure to high temperatures or strenuous physical activity, it can cause heavy sweating, cool or clammy skin, weakness, dizziness, headache, nausea, vomiting, muscle cramps, extreme thirst, and a fast or weak pulse. Exciting stuff. A person experiencing heat exhaustion should immediately be moved to a cool, shaded, or air-conditioned space, given small amounts of cool water or an electrolyte-containing drink if they are awake and able to swallow. Remove excess clothing, apply cool, wet cloths, or use fans to help lower the body temperature. Heat exhaustion can become heat stroke, which is a medical emergency, particularly if a person becomes confused, loses consciousness, has seizures, or develops very hot skin and a very high body temperature. If symptoms worsen or signs of heat stroke appear, emergency medical care should be sought immediately. Preventing heat stroke involves drinking fluids regularly, taking frequent breaks in cool or shaded areas, wearing lightweight and loose-fitting clothing, avoiding strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day, and allowing the body time to adjust to the hot weather. Public Works continues to trim trees in preparation of hurricane season. Oleander Way storm pipes have been cleaned out with very little sand in the pipes. There will be a few minor repairs that need to be done in the future. And remember, with high tides and heavy rain, there's a possibility of street flooding, which is saltwater flooding. So do not drive through high waters, And thank you. That's our report, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, for administration, tonight is the first reading of the fiscal year 2027 budget. Public hearings for the budget and millage rate will be held on Wednesday, September 9th and Wednesday, September 16th. Information regarding the budget and commission meetings can be obtained through the city clerk's office. Last week, Commissioner Neidinger, Commissioner Thompson, and Vice Mayor Reed and I, we represented the South Pasadena at the annual Florida League of Cities Conference in Hollywood, Florida. We attended classes about key issues facing local governments today, including property taxes, home rule, data centers, disaster response, and use of AI. The conference was also a great opportunity for all of us to meet with the other local officials from different cities so that we could network and learn to serve our city and gain knowledge to help improve our community. Now that summer is ending, it is time to save some dates for all our fall and winter events. Mark your calendars for these dates and plan to join us for some holiday fun. Trunk or Treat will be Saturday, October 24th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. The holiday tree lighting will be on Friday, November 20th at 6:30 p.m. The lighted boat parade will be Friday, December 11th at 6 p.m. Watch the city website or Facebook page for more information about these events. Boater registration is already open, so sign up today to be part of the parade. And you can do that by looking at our website, and you can find who to connect at Marine Max so that you can get your boat registered. City offices will be closed on Monday, September 7th in observance of Labor Day. And that's all I have for us this evening as well. We're going to now move on, and at this time, we're going to open the People's Forum. And this is the portion of the meeting when the public can speak on anything that is not on the agenda. So is there anyone in attendance that wishes to speak on something that's not, speak for the People's Forum? Okay. Seeing no one, we will close the People's Forum. And now we are going to accept agenda comment. And this is the portion of the meeting that the public can speak on anything that is not, that is on the agenda, that is not a public hearing. Is there anyone in attendance that wishes to speak on agenda comment? Okay. I'm going to close agenda comment. Oh, we had a hand.
I'm not sure exactly when you do it, but I just had a question about one of the permits.
If you can, that would be part of the first one. We can take an exception if you want to come up and, would that be part of it that's not on the agenda? Question?
Is it part of the public hearing, the special exception?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the seawall.
Then it should, there will be a public hearing portion for that.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that's,
it's for the special exception.
oh, it's for the next, the
So, yeah,
quasi,
there will be public portions in that.
gotcha. That's where I'm going now. All right. So, we're now going to switch to a quasi judicial public hearing. And item one is a special exception. And I'm going to ask our city attorney and city clerk to speak regarding the hearing process.
Thank you, Mayor. So at this time, I'll ask the commission to disclose any ex parte communications you may have had regarding this matter.
No.
Nothing.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and read a notice about the record of hearing as follows. All evidence admitted at these hearings will be kept by the clerk to remain as part of the record. In accordance with Florida statutes, you are hereby notified that if a person decides to appeal any decision made by this board at these hearings, he or she will need a record of the proceedings, and that for such purpose, he or she may need to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made, which record includes testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based.
All right.
If you are planning to speak as part of one of the public portions of this meeting, you have to complete a comment card. If you're speaking as the applicant, you can introduce yourself, you should use a card, you can get one anywhere you'd like. So if you are planning to speak, if you could stand, raise your right hand, and deliver the testimony. So you just raise your right hand and just respond affirmatively at the end. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please respond when you.
I do.
Okay. All right, so at this time, I'm going to open the public hearing for item one, and we'll begin with the hearing process with the staff report. If you want to come on up. How are you this evening?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Greg Southern, City Planner with the Community Improvement Department. I'll just give you a brief overview of the staff report and the attachments with the special exception tonight. Basically, the special exception application in front of you is P&Z 0526-005 for subject property located at 7140 South Shore Drive South, which is located within the RS 70 Single Family Residential Zoning District. The applicant, who is here tonight, Crystal Zamora, with Gulf Coast Marine Construction, on behalf of the property owner, Max Ellison Jr., is requesting approval to replace approximately 90 linear feet of existing seawall. The proposed replacement seawall would utilize vinyl sheet piling extending up to 12 inches waterward of the existing seawall face and would increase the finished top of seawall elevation from approximately 4.9 feet to 5.9 feet or 12 inches as previously indicated at NAVD 88 datum point. Increase, like I said, of 12 inches. For comparison, if you take a look at attachment D inside of the staff report, it's the adjacent seawall elevations page. The existing seawall on the adjacent property to the north is approximately 4.8 feet, and the seawall elevation on the adjacent property to the south is approximately 5.5 feet. Pursuant to section 130-17C3 of the Land Development Regulations, repairs to or the exact replacement of an existing seawall are exempt from the special exemption requirement. Yet, however, because the proposed replacement seawall would extend up to 12 inches waterward of the existing seawall face and would also increase the finished top of wall seawall elevation, the proposal does not constitute as an exact replacement. Hence, therefore, that's why we have the special exemption approval that is required by the City Commission tonight. So staff has reviewed the application, has had a number of conversations with the applicant, and pursuant to the 4 special exception criteria that are contained within section 130-48, staff has found that the request is consistent with all 4 of the required city criteria. Staff finds that the proposed seawall replacement will not adversely affect the public, is reasonably compatible with the surrounding waterfront properties and residential neighborhood, can be adequately accommodated on the subject property, and is not reasonably expected to reduce surrounding property values or detract from the surrounding area. So upon all of the analysis, the findings that staff has come to is that staff recommends approval of the special exception, subject to 5 conditions of approval that are at the last page of your staff report and also within the resolution that are attached. These conditions generally require the replacement seawall to be constructed substantially in accordance with the approved plans, limit the finished top of seawall elevation at a maximum of 5.8 feet NAVD 88, limit the waterward extension to 12 inches, require all applicable federal, state, county, and local permits and approvals, and require additional, if necessary, additional city review and approval of any other materials or revisions to any future changes would have to come back in front of the City Commission for a special exception. So the applicant is here as well to speak briefly, but both of us are here to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay, just a quick one. Number 2, you said not exceed 5.8, but on here it says 5.9. Is that just a faux pas?
Yeah, that's a typo, and I'm sorry about that. It should be 5.9.
5.9, that's what I got.
5.9.
Okay, okay. All right, just wanted a clarification on that.
You can ask him.
Okay.
Yes.
No, my question is, just curious more than anything, how come
Sorry.
the proposed elevation of 5.9 is higher than the one to the west of only 5.5? I get the 4.8, that's an older seawall, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Why not just match the one to the west at 5 feet 5?
I mean, they want to go as high as they can go. So the max that they can go is 12 feet. So that's what they're
12 feet,
requesting.
oh.
12 inches, forgive me.
Okay, all right, so that's the maximum allowable increase over these?
Yes.
Okay, I was just curious, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm now going to invite the applicant to present.
Okay, I'll take it, that's great. If you can just introduce yourself when you start your comments, that'd be
I'm Crystal Zamora. I'm here from Gulf Coast Marine Construction on behalf of Max as well. I'm basically just wanted to come up and say if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Obviously, our goal with Gulf Coast Marine Construction is to ensure the stability of our community long-term. I believe this is a 50 to 80-year-old wall, which is most of the area, from what I understand. And the recommendation is to obviously replace it. Let's reinforce it. Let's protect this property for a long time.
Okay. All right. Any of you have any questions for the applicant? Okay, you got out of there easy.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Okay, and now the members of the public are going to speak, and so those wishing to speak in favor of the application are now invited to speak. Sure. You had me worried there for a minute. Didn't know where you were going.
My name's Troy Gamble. I live at 7144 South Shore Drive, South Pasadena. And first of all, I want to say I'm grateful for my neighbors. I have quality neighbors. And I'm grateful for the community and for your leadership. I'm here tonight seeking to understand. I've done a little bit of research. Just to give you a little bit of background, when Helene came through, my neighbor to my right, I think is probably about 12 inches higher, like the garage area, maybe a little bit less. And I stayed there till like 8 o'clock at night. And I visibly had water that was going through my house and not the neighbors. Theirs was built up towards the seawall. And I had a pretty nice little river going through my house. I know that's an exception. It doesn't happen all the time. But when there are heavy rains, I do also have water coming through my garage from my next door neighbor. Again, my next door neighbor, Jonathan, great neighbor, beautiful house. I'm glad they built it, but it is higher than my house. And I hope that my house will be higher soon, so it won't be an issue. But if it isn't, now I'm asking myself, so I've got, say, 12 inches higher on one side, and now 12 inches higher on the other side. And when you have the heavy rains that come down, I'm in the middle and it all comes that way. And so one of my questions was just, have the engineers done any research? I've done a little bit myself, but have they done any research in regard to when there's heavy rains? What do we do when there's runoff? And not just for me, but other people on the island, because adding 12 inches onto my seawall, which I don't think is more than 10 or 15 years old, it's in great shape, could cost $15,000 or $20,000. And when my house is substantially damaged and I have to spend God knows how much to replace and repair, $15,000 to $20,000 starts to add up. I know that's a lot of money for other people on the island as well. So again, I'm just here to seek to understand. I'm all for building a more resilient community. I'm all for Max as my friend. I just want to understand what will that do, and do the engineers have any information that might say heavy rainfall or high water, what will that do to the property? And does the design of the seawall incorporate anything that will help to lessen any of those impacts?
Okay, okay. Does staff or the applicant have any response? Okay. You want to come on up, please?
I need whoever's speaking at the podium, sorry.
Yeah.
So addressing the concerns immediately, I would love to, first of all, point out that we all have on the plans on the first page of it, it shows specifically cap returns as required. So what we're gonna do there is, we're gonna do the same thing this podium does. We're gonna box that in. We're gonna create a bowl for the yard. And the way that we're gonna make sure that that yard drains is also gonna be located on the plans. If we go to page 2, located on number, I believe it's 5, tells us that we're gonna install some PVC well point drains so that we can make sure that we get proper drainage out of that yard correctly. We do not want to adversely affect anyone. That's not the way we want to design seawalls in our area.
So this is a drain that drains out back into the bay?
Yes, sir. We want to direct, and if I'm not mistaken, there is an entire plan, you might know, for Mr. Elson's home. So all of that's going to also be addressed when the home is rebuilt. And I do understand that there will be a drainage plan submitted and adhered to for the new build, because it will be at higher elevation as well.
Okay. Just so I understand, you want to? I just wanted to ask one question real quick here. So my understanding, so you got the drain, And so the water comes up over the seawall, fills in this pond they have. How does it drain if there's water on the other side holding it back from draining?
I'm unsure what you.
I mean, if the water is above the drain, how does it drain?
They're well points, so that the way that they drain is down through the yard. and
Oh,
it
okay.
goes out that way.
It goes out through
I'm
the,
not trying to flood it over top of the wall.
or through the wall?
Right.
It drains down.
It's gonna drain through.
Okay, okay, make more sense. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. I was like, wait, I'm lost.
Yeah.
We do have cap returns that are set to be designed on both sides. And then we will do the wall points,
Perfect.
drains.
The engineers have already reviewed it, and it's acceptable to the city, and Terry, I know is professional, she says it's.
Staff have anything to add to the comments or to right on it? Okay.
So, I guess I do have a question. These drains, how long have these drains been in use? I have the same concern.
I apologize, I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
I couldn't even provide.
So you guys put them in now, I just don't know if they were in use 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but you don't know.
Unfortunately, I'm not
Okay.
positive on the history. I can share that, working with everyone that I have over the years, what I've learned is that some of the drainage and the way that we're putting things in, when Irma came through and sucked all the water out of the bay, some of the projects that we had touched didn't fail. And it was because of the drainage systems that we're using. So everything that we do is with a very thoughtful design, including the concrete mix itself. I mean, it's got to sustain in the sea. It's got salt. So we're looking for sustainability. We're not trying to adversely affect anyone for any reason.
Okay.
So all of those things are well thought out and planned for many years.
Okay.
And that is why we do the cap returns. Our ideal situation is, let's get the neighbors signed up so that there's no cap return and everybody's just draining out nice. But obviously money, different timeframes and everything.
Right. Right. Right, so it doesn't have to be part of a new seawall. It can be just something somebody can put in if they wanted to.
Absolutely. We actually,
Good to
have
know.
repairs putting in jet filters that are the specific filters that actually save the water. If you take the water out of the bay, it holds the pressure on the other side. It's wild.
Okay.
Right? There's science here. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, that's right. And did you have any more for yourself?
Just go away. So is that drain the PVC pipe that comes out of the seawall? So I have those in place today.
out, so it's got spots on it as well.
Okay.
So when it goes underground, what's in the ground is seeping to those pipes.
I understand. Yeah, so I don't have those today. I mean, I have those today on my seawall, I believe. And I also installed, because of the issues with my neighbor to the right, I also installed drains that come from my house all the way down to the seawall and all the way out to the street so that the water will go down and percolate up. And I still have water that comes into my garage. So again, it's probably, it doesn't happen every day, but I'm a solutions-oriented person. I'm not here to complain. I'm here to make the community better.
Right.
And I'm just seeking to understand, and I want the best for my neighbors. I just want to understand, what are we doing to prevent some of this in the future? My other question is I did a little bit of research. It looks like maybe Madeira Beach has a target level, like the seawalls we're targeting to be at a certain level for the entire community. And when I read some of the regulations here, it seems like it has to be within 12 inches of your neighbor. Am I right or wrong?
I'm sorry.
So is there a target
Existing.
height for South Pasadena? Be like, what is it, 5.88 well,
Are you asking for the NAV?
What the,
Yeah, so right now it's 4.9, and they're proposing.
I'm sorry.
what is the target for the community? Like Madeira Beach says we
oh, like it can't be any higher than,
or our
Is
target is this.
I don't think South Pasadena has reached that design.
And the reason why I'm asking that is this. If we say, okay, we're gonna put in a seawall next door that's 4.9 feet, because it's only 12 inches higher than mine, and that's our limit. I go to spend 15 or 20 grand.
Yeah.
Put a cap on it. Well, my next door neighbor says, well, if I can be 12 inches higher than that, we're constantly chasing it. So my question is, if I go out and spend some money.
I see where you're going. So you're saying that as someone else goes up, then the next guy can go higher and higher and like a step.
Do we have a standard or not?
Right.
I've walked
Well,
around.
I see a lady coming up that might have that answer.
But to his point, the issue to me is, you're going up a foot higher than either side roughly, just for the sake of round numbers. Water goes to the path of least resistance. Why is water not on a rising tide situation going to divert extraordinarily more to Mr. Gamble's lot and the lot to the west, when the one in the middle The applicant has a foot higher, water's gonna go around it.
And I can
Wouldn't
tell
that
you,
create a much more higher likelihood of those two lots flooding?
and I hope that never happens again, but what I
Right,
can
but-
tell you is this, I stayed until after 8 PM the night of Helene, September 26th. And I couldn't barely open the side of my house door into my garage. Water was rushing through our two houses like a little river.
Yeah.
And my car ended up burning up. When there wasn't that much water to the property on the other side. Now granted, that's an anomaly. But
True.
still, there's been a lot of
But I'm-
water in the backyard, in my backyard, on multiple occasions, when it hasn't been in other
Right,
backyards.
that's kind of the question I'm asking. How does a seawall a foot higher with two properties on either side a foot shorter not cause an inundation problem for the parties on either side? Can you explain that to me?
So first,
I need you to please stand up there.
Uh-oh.
So, first, the state code only allows us to go up 12 inches one time, to my understanding. A third time replacement seat wall is a little uncharted territory, in my opinion. We're not there.
I don't think you understood the question. You're gonna be going up a foot higher than either seawall on either side, either property.
One time.
Yeah, one time, but still you're a foot higher. How does that not create extra water going around that seawall in the case of a repeat of Helene situation to go to other properties, more so, because it's going to go around that foot higher? I mean, it's just physics.
100% slightly agreed, but also that is the purpose of, if you will, the cap returns on the side. That will help this property not overflowing the other properties. Obviously, an act of God is an act of God, and I don't know that I can stand here and tell you how I can prevent that from affecting everyone or not one property at all. I can tell you that the purpose is not to adversely affect, but it is to thoroughly protect everyone. So I would actually rebuttal and say that if this wall is put in, and if these drains are put in, it's gonna help your drainage scenario, not make it worse. Because we're actually addressing it and not leaving it.
I mean, just simply say
But-
the pure math.
But,
If you have two high points and you have a valley, the water's gonna go through the valley. I've been in a couple before, and I can tell you, when you're in the valley,
My
and you got folks
seawall
that are up
was
on the side
higher
of the
than
mountain,
my
the water goes
neighbor's.
through the valley.
They're all different sizes.
Yeah, I know.
And they probably were grandfathered in, right? I mean, if you look at the island, you look at the seawalls, they're all different heights.
Some are more than 2 feet high,
Yeah.
like one, you know.
My neighbor's was lower than mine.
So the code currently says that you can go 12 inches above what's existing. So it's not what your neighbor has or what somebody else has, it's about what you have. So you can go 12 inches above that existing height. As far as, yes, water finds its lowest point, right? Water will always find the lowest point and go to it. They do put in drainage, they do put in returns so that that water does not leave the property, but water finds its lowest point. There is no,
yeah, what
no matter what you do. So, but these are reinforced, they have tiebacks that hold it into the property. It will keep things from failing on that property in the future. I cannot say that it will not. They plan for adverse impacts, and that's what the returns do. They keep it from going around and going to the neighboring property.
But when you've got that amount of massive water coming in, it's,
Situation,
nothing's
you know,
gonna stop
when
it,
it's
right?
4 feet above, and we're only going, we're going to 4.9,
But,
5.9, and the water's coming in at 8 foot, nothing's stopping that.
So would one of you be safe to say that if there was just a heavy rain, that probably wouldn't have that drainage into the other yard because you have, whereas if you had what we had with the floods coming in, that's, of course,
Correct,
it doesn't matter what yard you got, you're gonna get wet.
yes. The things that they're putting in place will help with the heavy rains, it will help with, minor flooding, but it's not gonna stop a Helene.
Okay, and then I
What
guess,
is the question though, a total number on the cap, like if it's 12 inches, can somebody else do 14?
So
And,
it's
you
12
know-
inches above what you have existing.
yeah, you can't do 14,
So
you can 12.
You can't do 14.
But if you're already 14 above your neighbor and you do another 12, then you're 26 inches above your neighbor, correct?
In theory, I don't think any are that big of a difference.
Nobody wants to block their view, I'm
So
sure,
there's
of the water, but.
There's no number of how high it can
We
be.
do not have a max. I believe that Madeira Beach, what you were talking about, I believe they max theirs out at 60, thank you. Was it 5 or 6 feet?
Clearwater is at 5.12, just for the record, so.
So-
It may be something worth looking into.
So is it like, is Madeira Beach something like they did some kind of research and saw who had the highest seawall and said, now nobody can go above that one and that one can't change?
I don't know.
I
if they
don't know.
put that number.
I mean, that would seem like it would be, you'd have to get
So in
in
different
everybody's
areas
yards.
in the city as well, we have different elevations.
Yeah.
So the street's at a different elevation here than it is over at the island, than it is
True.
over at 14th Street, right? 14th Ave. So, I mean, setting a set number for the entire city
You can't do that.
could cause other adverse impacts. So there would have to be engineering
Right,
involved
that's
and,
true.
and someone a little above my pay grade.
And this would be for anybody putting in a new seawall or a new cap, like whoever's got what they've got is what they've got. But if they're gonna redo the seawall like Elson is doing, then you look at the neighboring, okay.
And just out of reference, didn't we just have a similar incident, request for this
Yes,
same
we
type
did.
of thing?
We did,
7160.
yeah.
Okay. You guys do that one too? Okay.
I wanted to say a little bit, can I get you to come up to the microphone? I just want to make sure I'm getting.
Yes, so one of the things that Madeira does that's a little bit different, just so that you can kind of grasp an understanding, they required us to turn in a drainage plan. So what I've had to do on my side is I've had to have the engineers obviously work that out, but we have to develop a topographical survey first to develop where all of that is going to flow. That is why they have been able to say, this is our max. It doesn't work for some properties. We turn in a variance for those properties. If your house sits at 4.9, obviously we cannot build your wall up to 6.0. You're going to flood out. That's what's going to happen. And I think that some of what we're seeing, and I think if we go back to probably the very crazy beginning of when all of the Helene and the Milton thing came about, Lisa Foster had a lot to say about the floodplain. And a lot of what we are learning in that fallout is this NAVD thing, and he's not wrong here. But like she said, I personally am concerned we have an area, that might create a fishbowl by saying everyone's going to be at this height. That's scary. If your property sits at 4.2 and now I have to bring in your wall at 5.12,
Yeah.
the only thing saving you is scuppers, and those are not pretty.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, we're about the aesthetic. So we want the aesthetic, we want the protection long term, not just for one home, our whole area. We don't want to build 500 walls if we have that happen again. We want to build the ones that didn't get it done this time.
Right, and with the homes that had to be torn down and have to be elevated, they're just elevating their home, they're not elevating the property underneath. They're not filled dirt or anything,
They have to assess drainage. When they bring in that property, they have to assess drainage. You cannot, I'm pretty sure that, I'm speaking very frankly, we are not going to allow you to bring your house in on a hill and just run it off.
Got it.
No one's going to do that. That's going to adversely affect you. That's going to flood out your neighbor bad.
Okay.
If I can close real quick, I just want to say, again, number one, I'm grateful. I've got quality neighbors and I live in a quality community. And I just wanted to share that, the Great Flood, Helene was an exception. And to everyone's point, you can't control that. I can tell you, though, that when those things happen, there are disadvantages of being on the lower ground. And I waded through it. And, I need to get my act together, I guess, and I need to raise it up and to have a more resilient property. But in the meantime, there have been at least 4 or 5 other times when it wasn't a major flood, wasn't Helene, where water has come into the backyard with heavy rains, and I've had flooding in my garage. Now, you have water in your backyard, halfway up your backyard. The drains don't help because they have nowhere to go. And when it has nowhere to go, and you have higher seawalls, more water comes through. Again, that might just be my responsibility, and I need to take care of it. But I'm not the only one on the island. There's other people like that, and I'm sharing tonight just to, again, seek to understand. And if it's reasonable to create a standard on the island, if there's something we can do, then perhaps we can work together towards that standard as a community. If not, it's something to think about. But in the end, I recommend that we approve Max Elson's request and that we build it up better and stronger than what it is now. And we just keep in mind that with changes, there could be some other impacts that we should consider as well.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Just as a side note, too, you can have a seat. We did have a meeting not long ago with, I think it was Ford Pinellas, concerning the raising of houses. But you're not required to raise your garage. And that's, to me, was, okay, I know you can't raise it up the same height as the house, because you have to have a four-wheel drive to get up there. But I think people should raise them at least somewhat, because your garage is usually where all your belongings wind up. All the stuff you really love, but you don't want it in the house anymore. And then when the flood comes, it all gets destroyed. So it just seems to me like that should be brought up a few feet anyway. Might have to drive up a little bit to get inside when you rebuild your homes, but it just
Insurance won't
just
cover
didn't make a lot of
anything on the
sense.
bottom level.
Yeah.
Even if you have a washer and dryer. not
Oh,
covered.
yeah. I mean, we had, I think, 126 first floor units at Bay Island
Yeah.
that were completely flooded. People just moved in just several months ago, getting back into their homes. Where I was managing, I had 110 first floor units that were severely damaged, and most of them, the same thing, just moved in several months ago. So it's downstairs is, I think that's why I bought it on the 7th floor. But then again, I was worried about the guy on the 8th floor too, so I don't know. All right, we need to move on. So we've heard from in favor and got a lot of good questions also to help us think for the future. So at this time, I'm going to ask if there's anyone who wishes to speak against the application. Okay. Seeing no one, we're going to move on from there. And I guess at this point, the applicant has a chance for rebuttal. Is there any type of rebuttal you think you're covered in what you've told us and given, and you feel good? There's always room for more.
I did go back and I sat down and I looked at the elevation certificate that we provided that shows you the elevation of the gentleman's home here tonight, and it's really unfortunate, but there is a 5-foot difference between the property on the other side. I'm so sorry. I don't know that my seawall is going to change any type of adverse effects. If anything, it's going to benefit because of the drains more than anything. That house is sitting very low. It's almost like it's on downhill slope. I can't say that for sure, but I would imagine that might need to be addressed maybe at a different level, not necessarily on Mr. Elson's seawall. And so I would respectfully like to ask for more approval than not, because Mr. Elson has waited a long time to try to get this done.
Yeah.
We shot to get this on the agenda in June and missed it by just a couple of days. And obviously, we had to wait 2 extra months, and it's to get an answer, and it's been very trying for him, because obviously he can't even move forward with the correct house plan until we know the elevation of the seawall.
Right.
Thank you all.
Okay. All right, are there any closing statements from staff?
Once again, and maybe to just clarify, if you take a look at attachment D, everybody's got it inside of their report. That's what Crystal was just talking about, is that this property that we're here for the special exception, it's currently vacant. They're trying to establish a new seawall before they actually build the new single-family house. So the property that is to the west is actually the one that's currently, and we're just talking about the house right now, we're not talking about the seawall. The finished floor elevation is at 12, where this gentleman's house is at 7. And that's what she's saying. She's basically trying to indicate that his house is very low lying. And I think this is probably something that we see throughout the city. There's a lot of older historic homes, and then, you know, in the last 2 years, there's a lot of new homes coming in, and now they're being built to our minimum, which is 2 feet above the base flood elevation. So that's 2 feet, and that's just for the house. So But as she just indicated, she's just trying to, or the company is trying to establish that seawall so they can start to grade and do everything before they actually build the new single-family house. But if you have any additional questions or anything about the staff report, still stand by the
Questions?
5 conditions and the recommendation for approval.
All right, thank you. I guess one more time, we're back at the applicant. Did you have any closing statements? You don't have to, it's up to you. Okay. All right, so at this time, I'm going to close the public hearing for this item. Is there any discussion amongst the commission?
No.
I just want to thank everybody. The more education we get, no matter how long you've been up here, is always something more. And things the city needs are it's a lot, and especially when the storms and things come. So we do need a consideration to maybe some type of a limit for the seawalls and maybe property heights. I don't know how that would work or what we can and can't do, as we have the state and the federal government involved in a lot of these things. So we'll have to just play that by ear, but thank you, everyone, for this evening. All right, so I would now call for a motion to either approve resolution number 2026-03, approving application for special exception P&Z 0526-005, or to deny application for special exception.
Second.
And we have 2 for approval. Any questions?
No.
Nothing? Okay. All right, well, we have a motion and a second. Carly, can you call the vote?
Snyder?
Yes.
McAleese?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes. All right. Get on to item 2. Item 2 is just the approval of the commission meeting minutes for the month of June and July 2026, which are on file in the city clerk's office. I'll entertain a motion and a second to pass the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
He can have it.
Fine, motion to approve.
Second.
Gail, second?
Oh, second.
Were you second?
Well, I don't
She
know.
was.
She was,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
she was, yeah.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. All right, we're going to move on to new business. This is item number 3, ordinance number 2026-01, and I'll ask our city attorney to read the ordinance by title, please.
Yes, this is ordinance number 2026-01, an ordinance of the City of South Pasadena, Florida, amending Appendix Chapter A198 fees of the Code of Ordinances relating to rates and charges for sewage use, to increase the base minimum monthly sewer rates and sewer flow charge rate by 5%, providing an effective date. This is the first reading.
All right, and do I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance number 2026-01 on first reading?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, Carly, can you call the vote, please?
McAleese?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Snyder?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes. We're going on to item 4, and this is for ordinance number 2026-02, and once again, I will ask our city attorney to read the ordinance by title.
This is ordinance number 2026-02, an ordinance of the City of South Pasadena, Florida, amending Appendix Chapter A198, fees of the Code of Ordinances relating to rates and charges for reclaimed water, to increase the minimum monthly reclaimed water service charge for single-family residential customers to $13.66, and to increase commercial and municipal user service charges to $390.21 per pervious acre, providing an effective date. This is the first reading.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance number 2026-02 on first reading?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? Okay. Carly, can you call the vote?
Thompson?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Snyder?
Yes.
McAleese?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes. Item 5 is for ordinance number 2026-03, and I'll ask our attorney to read the ordinance, please.
This is ordinance number 2026-03, an ordinance of the City of South Pasadena, Florida, adopting fiscal year 2026-2027 budget, providing an effective date, and the first reading.
Thank you. All right, do I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance number 2026-03 on first reading?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion on this item? I know we spent a lot of time on all these. All right, no discussion. Carly, can you call the vote?
Reed,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Henning.
Yes. Item number 6 is resolution number 2026, and I'll ask the attorney to read the resolution by title.
This is resolution number 2026-04, a resolution of the City of South Pasadena, Florida, amending the salary pay plan set forth in resolution number 2025-14 and adopting the 2026-2027 step pay plan for general employees and approving amended job descriptions for the city administrator and city clerk positions, effective for the payroll including October 1st, 2026.
All right, I have a motion and a second to pass resolution number 2026-04.
Motion to pass?
Second.
Any discussion on this item? All right, Carly, call the vote.
Snyder,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Henning.
Yes. Item 7 is resolution number 2026-05, and I'll ask the city attorney to read the resolution by title.
This is resolution number 2026-05, a resolution of the City of South Pasadena, Florida, appointing the Sheriff of Pinellas County as the police department of the city for the period October 1st, 2026 through September 30th, 2027.
Thank you. And do I have a motion and a second to pass resolution number 2026-05?
Make a motion, we pass.
Second?
Any discussion? Don't want to talk about it, Sheriff? Okay.
On camera.
All right, Carly, call the vote, please.
Matthews,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Henning.
Yes. All right, we're just going along here. Let's see, item number 8. This is a motion about an amended interlocal agreement with Fort Pinellas, but I'll ask our city attorney to read the motion, please.
This is a motion to approve interlocal agreement with Forward Pinellas for planning and mapping services and/or special project work as amended.
All right, do I have a motion and a second to pass the motion?
Second.
Yes. Okay, any discussion on this item? Okay, Carly, call the vote.
Thompson,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Henning.
Yes. Oh, number 9, this is a motion for the PSTA Board of Directors appointments. I'll ask the city attorney to read the motion.
We have a motion to appoint Vice Mayor Thomas Reed as the city's representative on the PSTA Board of Directors.
Okay, motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
You guys were quick on that one. Wow. Okay, any discussion? Want to talk about Thompson?
I really do, but I'll pass this time.
All right, yes, it's your chance. Okay, Carly, call the vote, please.
Reed,
Sure, why not? Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Henning.
Yes. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone again for coming this evening. All those at home, have a great night. We are adjourned.